suspected I was pregnant one Tuesday in March 2009. I frantically called my best friend, a nurse who had once gotten a false positive on a pregnancy test. In her matter-of-fact, yet compassionate way, she told me no one had ever gotten 6 false positives, and that I was going to be a mama. I panicked. I could just barely take care of my cat. I wasn't ready for the responsibility of a human. But by 20 weeks, I was like most other pregnant ladies in the world, so eager to know if I was growing a little lady or a little boy in my belly. At the ultrasound, we found out it was going to be a boy. But we were blindsided when that became the tiny news of the day, because we also found out he had a club foot. Does that mean he won't have any toes? I asked between sobs, because I knew absolutely nothing about clubfoot. I learned it is called clubfoot because the foot looks like a golf club. There's almost no heel, and the front of the foot is turned in and down. In our case, our son's foot was shaped like the letter U. So we began preparing. We interviewed doctors. I spent hours researching methods of treatment and looking at pictures of babies born with clubfoot. Although my baby wasn't even born yet, I began to worry like a mother. Would he be able to walk? Would he be able to run? Would he be able to play like other kids? Would it affect how people perceived him? He got his first cast when he was 5 days old. We began a routine that felt normal to us, although different than most other new parents. Every Friday, I peeled his cast off and gave him a bath. I cherished those few hours of him without a cast. I kissed his toes and rubbed his little leg. He was casted every week for 13 weeks, and then a little before 4 months, he had his first tiny surgery, a tenotomy, where they cut his Achilles tendon, then stretch his heel, put a cast on, and miraculously, it grows back together longer. My husband and I both watched, mildly horrified, as the doctor inserted a scalpel into the back of his heel and sliced his Achilles tendon apart. When he was about 5 months old, we started using the bar, a steel bar between special shoes that connected his feet and turned them outwards. He hated those shoes, but he figured out how to live with them. He learned to crawl with his legs tied together, with his feet moving in unison from one side to the other. He learned to pull himself to stand as if his feet were strapped onto a snowboard. After almost 2 years of that torture device, we were thrilled when we got the go-ahead to stop using the bar. We thought we were in the clear, that our clubfoot treatment days were behind us. But our doctor in Denver repeatedly warned us that we weren't out of the woods yet. About a year later, we moved from Colorado to North Carolina. Soon after we moved, we started noticing that his sweet little foot was starting to turn back in. We found a doctor who matter-of-factly told us he would need 2 surgeries, with 12 weeks and a cast afterwards. The decision to do 2 major surgeries or do nothing was terrifying. He is one of the most active kids I know. He wants to play sports from the moment his eyes open in the morning until the moment his head hits the pillow at night. The fact that his foot turns in doesn't matter to him at all. I agonized about the decision and once again worried how it would affect his life, his friendships, his school, his brother, his everything. For him to be unable to walk for up to 3 months, to have to crawl or be carried everywhere. But how would it affect his life 20 years from now if we chose to do nothing? The process was awful. If I could have switched bodies with him, I would have. It hurt to see him in so much pain after the surgeries. It twisted my heart to see strangers avoid eye contact with a 4-year-old in a wheelchair. But despite the pain and discomfort, his amazing tenacity and sheer grit prevailed once again. He focused on everything he can do. Once he put his mind to it, he could do almost anything he wanted. Once he got his walking cast, the nurse warned us that he might not even try to walk for at least 2 weeks. She didn't know Tasman. He walked the next day, and then he learned to run and bike in that cast. And now, cast-free, he gets stronger and faster with each passing day, and he's taught me the true meaning of strength.